Hi, everybody. Welcome to the More Gems Show. I'm Steve Moriarty, your host, and with me today are my son, Jeffrey, who is our chat moderator. Hi, Jeff.
How are we doing tonight, Steve?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. Got a good show scheduled.
Yes, we do.
And also my other son, Michael.
I'm here, adjusting Jeffrey's camera.
Michael does all the preparation for the show, and
just kind of get it set up and try and make it work.
so hopefully it all works tonight.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think it will.
looking good. Yeah, we got some new things in the works, so we'll see how they work. So Jeff, you want to tell them about
How this all works?
how this all works?
All right. So, if this is your first time here, we're going to be talking about a lot of gemstones tonight. There's going to be some hidden gems as well, but basically these are a lot of stones that Steve's cut, some new stones that we have, and they're all going to be 15% off tonight. So the price that you see in our videos, you're going to be able to take, or on the screen actually, you're going to be able to take an additional 15% off with the coupon code STORM. I think Michael...
Kind of been the weather here lately.
Storm. Okay.
Yeah.
Gemstorm.
Gemstorm.
Yeah, depending on where you're from, Indiana has kind of been a nasty place to live this
Yes.
month.
So the coupon code is STORM. And what you can do is you can go to MoreGems.com, and it's spelled right in that little green bar below there. If you go there, there's another green bar right at the top of that website that's going to take you directly to the stones that are on the show tonight. You can go through any of those stones. You can check out through our website. If you can enter in the coupon code STORM, and you're going to get 15% off that price. Now we have a ton of different ways you can pay. So you can pay credit card. You can pay PayPal. We also now have Bread, which is a financing option for you. So I think you can pay for up to 12 months, I believe. And then the other option is we do offer layaway. We just require that, you give us a call like tomorrow when we open up again. And you can put a down payment down, and we can hold the stone for you. What am I missing?
We got a new little QR code.
Oh, the QR code at the bottom. Yes. So we noticed like some people are watching on their TV or their tablets. If you got your phone on you, you can hit that little QR code that's down below where I'm speaking there. If you just use your camera on your phone, you roll over it, it'll show the URL. You click there, it'll take you directly to all the gemstones tonight. That's new. We're just trying to make it easier for you. And yes, I think that's everything.
Okay.
We covered it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Good job.
Okay.
One time.
And a little bit about our pricing on the site. You'll see a appraised price on it. Is that what it's listed at? Appraised price?
I think so.
Which is based on the Gem Guide. Gem Guide is, as it says, a market-driven independent pricing guide. And what this company does is they go to the shows, particularly the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show, go out and price stones, and they formulate this pricing guide using what they find at those shows. And the shows are pretty competitive, so this gives you a pretty good idea of how pricing is, and they'll break down each stone by quality, and we use this to do appraisals. This is the most commonly used guide for colored stone and diamond appraising. So this is what we use to formulate that price. The second price that's on there is the price that we sell online. And of course, tonight, 15% off that price with the coupon code STORM.
I think that's it.
Okay. And Jeff just spent St. Paddy's Day in Ireland.
Yep, which was fun.
Which was a good trip generally.
Yes. I don't know if anybody's watching from Ireland, But yeah, I always wanted to spend St. Patty's Day there. So me and a buddy went there for kind of a guy's trip and spent it in Dublin and drove around the island, country, whatever it may be. And yeah, it was all good, going really well. And for anybody that's traveled overseas, you know the U.S. requires you to take that COVID re-entry test. And so we went to the airport, of course, and got our re-entry test done there. You have to sit around for about an hour and wait. Mine came back, negative, good to go. Just waited for my buddies to come back negative because he had no symptoms. And his came back positive. So unfortunately, he was stuck there for another 8 days on his own dime. Had to buy a hotel, had to buy a new flight back. I gave him all the euros I had left. But yeah, it was only supposed to be for like 4 days, and he ended up being there for 2 weeks. So just a word of caution for anybody that's going outside of the country. That does happen. I never thought it would, but it does. So.
Makes for an expensive trip.
Yes. It was supposed to be an easy, quick trip. Just do some drinking on St. Patty's Day and come back. And yeah, you got a whole full 2 weeks there. So, so be careful if you go out of the country.
It'd have been okay if you'd both been there together, maybe. But
I would have
for
hated
him
to be there.
alone. Yeah.
Missing work for that long. I brought my laptop with me, which was good. He didn't, so he was trying to work off his phone. But yeah, that's not an easy situation. So, but what else is going on?
We talked about diamond prices last year or last month show, and we expected prices to increase because of what's going on in Ukraine, with Alrosa being a Russian company that supplies 28% of the world's supply of diamond. They, of course, have been sanctioned. The oligarch that's in control of it has also been sanctioned. Russia the country owns 33% of that company. So it has had an effect on supplies. It's also been, COVID's had an effect on supplies also. But what we've experienced over the last month is about an 18% increase in diamond prices, which includes large stones as well as the milli we use in mountings. So definitely has had an effect on the industry for sure, and ultimately pricing of jewelry. So hopefully that's the end of it. And there won't be any more price increase. And, the unfortunate part of it is Russia probably won't be affected too much because some of the countries like India particularly has not sanctioned Russia at all. And they do most of the cutting of the diamonds from Russia. The whole industry is looking at what to do about the situation, but as of yet, there's been no decision as to how to deal with this issue. So time will tell in the near future. It's something hard to control because once it gets to India, now it's an Indian supply. It's no longer related to Russia at all. So
Interesting.
Okay.
All connected.
All right. Shall we get started?
All right.
Any questions from the chat? Everybody good in the chat?
Yep.
All right, cool.
So it's on to the first stone.
All right. First stone up is a tourmaline. We have a good selection of tourmalines this time. I've been focusing on buying this Congo material. At first, a lot of the Congo I didn't like, and there still is a lot of the material that doesn't do much for me. The really light greens. There are some nice light greens, but a lot of it's yellowy green and not too exciting of color. And some of the pinks are kind of a mixed coloration that doesn't do much for me. But there are quite a few, like this stone, that I find the color very appealing, and I'm finding it very saleable. So I am doing a little focusing on trying to buy more of this material. Because as we've seen with many, many gems over the years, they're here now, and just as quickly as they hit the market, they're gone. So you really need to focus on buying what's new and available, and this is one of those stones. So this particular stone is a Portuguese cut, which of course is one of our best-selling cuts. And if you, as you look at this, we've started doing some renders of things that could be done with these pieces. We do have many, many things available. We wanted to show you just some ideas of what this stone could look like. So this particular stone weighs 4.25 carat. I cut this into a Portuguese round. It has good high clarity. It's a VS clarity. VS means there's something in it, but it's not going to be really eye visible. Something very small in it that has little effect. And pink tourmalines particularly, the GIA grades them a little differently because pinks, this isn't quite pink, but it's categorized as pink. Pinks are not typically clean, so this is a very clean stone for a pink tourmaline. GIA rates them as a type 3 stone, meaning they're rarely totally clean. So when GIA grades these stones, they'll give some lenience to the grading. So and it's just how their system is set up. But this is a true VS, whether you grade it as a diamond or a colored stone as a pink tourmaline. I am not totally into the system, although I do, in the case of emeralds, I do give some lenience to the grading. And some pink tourmalines, I also give some lenience. But in the case of this one, it's a true VS stone.
Does that help it any?
What was that light off?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's better. So the Portuguese give you this nice spiraling brilliance to a stone. And it's one of those that just always sells for us. So whenever I can cut a Portuguese, I do. But because of the requirement of depth in the material, many pieces of rough do not have a great enough depth. This is a piece of Congo pink tourmaline rough. That'll be similar to this color. This one will probably be a little bit lighter. So this one has great enough depth to cut a Portuguese if you cut it this direction. But in the case of this one, this is probably the direction I'll cut it. You'll get a bigger stone. So this stone, the appraised price is $2,760. $1,275 is the price we have online. And with the 15% off, that brings you down to $1,083.
I know I bring this up a lot, but for new people, this is the one that goes viral a lot, quite a bit on Reddit, that people just love the Portuguese cut.
Yeah, we do. We had a Portuguese tanzanite that went viral and had 1 million views in no time, which we actually do have a Portuguese tanzanite coming up a little later in the show. So.
Spoiler alert.
Come on, Steve.
I'm not supposed to tell, but there is one coming up.
This is a pretty cool color. So.
Yeah, this is a cool color too. We've done real well with this color on these shows too, and I expect today or in the next few days, that's a stone that will sell. And our next stone is a bicolor tourmaline. And this is a new cut in an emerald cut I've been doing. Just produces a little more brilliance.
Somebody asked if that was the typical. Oh no, you know what? It was a different stone. This is not the bar, opposed bar.
No, there is one also coming up.
Yes,
that's an opposed bar. This is just this is a cut I started doing. I don't know, I'm the first one on the planet to ever cut this cut, but for me it's unique. I started cutting it just in the last couple of months, and there's probably a few of them during this show. I get into a cut and every time I see something that's close, I start cutting it because I think this one worked real well, better than the standard emerald cut. You get a little more brilliance out of the stone than just an emerald cut. You can see that there's 2 facets on the back, whereas the emerald cut just has a single long facet on it. And here's a piece of rough. You know, these bicolors for a long time, you know, from probably, maybe early 1990s till just the last few years, bicolors have been very, very rare. And now we're getting some production both from Brazil, Nigeria, and most notably from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So right now, bicolors are available, and like the previous supply in the early 90s that came out of Brazil, there was a lot of material all of a sudden on the market. It was going reasonably, and then just as quick as it came, again, it disappeared. You know, and then for 20 years or more, probably 30 years, it'd be, 20 to 30 years, there was almost no material on the market. So right now, it's a good time to buy these bicolors because it is available. So this particular stone weighs just under 4 carats. Good clean for a bicolor, because bicolors rarely clean. This is as clean as you get them. You know, there's a few very minor things in it. You know, and keep in mind as you're looking at the stones on with this camera, it shows everything. So when you get a stone, if you see anything in the camera, more than likely it will be very, very difficult, or you won't be able to see it when you get it on your hand. You know, the camera is just merciless as far as inclusions. So that's why a lot of things you don't see on our website, like emeralds, you don't see rubies very often, because the camera shows everything and they just photograph horribly. So we just have a hard time putting them on the website. But it's a really nice stone. Again, from Democratic Republic of Congo, bicolor tourmaline. $1,550 is the appraised price. $890 is our price online, and with the 15% off, it is $757.
This design over here is by Chris.
And yeah, and the design that is shown with it is a Christopher Michael design. And I'll show you what these waxes look like when we have a.
Are you able to, especially for the new people here, explain, you know, our design process? I guess that we actually do designs.
Okay, Christopher Michael is our designer, and you know, we're currently only designing for the stones that we have. We're kind of in a dilemma where we have more business than we can do, so we've kind of quit designing for outside stones, and you know, we're pretty much designing just for what we produce. And the design process, if you have a design in mind, you can send us pictures and we can try and produce a design for you. Chris will do a computer-aided design, and then we produce a wax like this, and you can actually get the wax if you desire. You know, this wax, this is all the structure underneath. All this, 2/3 of this is what will be cut away. You know, this is the structure to build the wax, and you need a structure like this to actually do the casting. So from a wax like this, you can pretty much see what it's going to look like. And if you see the picture that was up there before, you can see how accurate this is to the final piece. But we'll do a lost wax casting with this and produce a gold piece from this wax. I don't know. Did I explain that?
Yeah, I think that was very in-depth.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, a lot of people will, you know, in previous shows, again, if this is your first show, will find a stone that they love, you know, during the show. And sometimes we just hold on to it because we, you know, design something for you. So eventually you get the final piece. So yeah, so it's something we
And
do.
you can send us ideas. You can look at our sites, both More Gems and Tanzanite Jewelry Designs, and see some of the designs that are on there. If you like one of those, we can pretty much produce most styles to fit almost any stone you're going to see tonight.
Yep.
So
And also, something I didn't mention earlier is if you do have questions during the show, you don't have to go online, type them up, and try to find an answer. You can try to stump Steve, or if you just have a question about something.
that's not possible.
I like
Yeah.
that. We should have a show called Stump Steve.
Stump Steve. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
there
whole
there was one about, I can't remember what it was recently.
Yeah, sometimes
I
he's
didn't
stumped.
have an answer for, but
But you can post questions, because if you're on, if you're watching this show and if you log into YouTube or to your Google account, there is a lively chat session going on where you can post questions there, and I'll ask Steve during the show. Or on MoreGems.com, there's a little chat button there. I'm monitoring that chat as well, so you can post questions during the show, and for the most part, if Steve can, he will answer them for you.
so if we have Stump Steve, can we have Fool the Watchers? And I could lie to them and see if they
See who
believe it.
catches it. Oh.
I wouldn't do that. Okay. Is this what's up next? It is. Okay, and it's another Portuguese cut. And in Peridot, Portuguese cut is probably one of my favorite stones. I've for some reason just always loved Peridot in this cut. I don't know if I'm a little out of focus. It just does something for me. The cut and the color just blend well. See if I can get this in the tweezers, right? Okay, there you go. And there's another design that Christopher has done. It's kind of a double halo around the stone. And keep in mind, these are renders. They're not the actual stone. But the computer does a pretty good job.
To be clear, it's a render in the ring itself, and the actual stone is spinning.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The stone is actual. It's spinning on the screen, but the ring is a complete render of the piece. But that's pretty much what it's going to look like when it's done. Yeah. So this particular stone weighs 6.07 carats, and it's $3,640 is the appraised price. Oh, get that in focus again. $1,670 is our price online, and with the 15% off, it is $1,420.
Expect Peridot to look like ever. I don't know. Peridot back in the day. It's just
Yeah. You were around when only the Arizona material was available, and it was yellowy green,
Yep.
and the Peridot from Pakistan just has that blue secondary color rather than the yellow that makes it special. And Peridot's gotten much more difficult to get than it was 10 years ago. Just much less production from Pakistan. And here's the typical piece of rough that I deal with. And this is one of the most difficult roughs that I look at. As you can see, the surface doesn't give you much view of what's inside. Yeah. You try and look through these little windows and see if you can see what's inside, but it's just very difficult in this material. And what's our next stone?
Just not topic, but off Peridot topic. One of the chatters wants to know, would you say garnet stones are the best alternative to reach the pigeon red color rubies offer?
Well, the material out of Arizona is about as good a red as you get. And often they're redder than most rubies. They're a little different ruby, but you can't get them very big. You know, you can get them up to 2 carat typically, and then they get too dark. So it is the best alternative to ruby is spinel, but spinel has gone crazy in price too. So buying spinels, you know, in ruby reds, you're now looking at 3,000-4,000 a carat, almost like rubies. So, you know, which do you buy is debatable. There's a lot more ruby available. Ruby coming out of Mozambique is a pretty high quality stone. There's very little coming out of Burma, and it's actually illegal for us to sell Burmese stones at this time. So best alternative is spinel, but the garnet is a beautiful alternative. Because when we use these garnets in our mother's rings, I'm always worried that people are going to think they're rubies because they are so red. And if you put them you put a garnet and a ruby in the same ring, and the people are going to want to think that the garnet is the ruby rather than the ruby being the ruby, because the ruby is typically a little violety red or pinky red, and the garnet is I don't know, it's a purer red, but yeah, it generally looks redder. Yeah, it is a very vivid red color. So.
All right, thank you. One other question. With the peridot that you just showed, with the Portuguese cut and all those facets, someone wanted to know, how long does that take you?
Those are like 4 hours, you know, if I'm lucky and don't have issues. You know, issues are running into conclusions that you have to deal with. There's a stone that's up later that just was a nightmare for me. You know, and every time I almost finished it. I should talk about it later, but I'll talk about it now. You know, you get to the point, I was down to the last 2 facets, and a big chunk of the stone comes out. You know, I knew there was some inclusions in it. I thought I could leave them and not have a problem, but just a big chunk came out. I had to recut the whole stone. Same stone, chunk came out of the crown, I had to recut it. But ultimately it became a better stone because those were inclusions that ended up getting cut out of it. So it was a cleaner stone. It just dropped probably 2 carats in size, having to recut it so much. So that increased my cutting time by 50%. So what takes 4 hours can end up taking 6 hours. You know, and Portuguese cuts, although they're repetitive and in certain stones they're easy because, you know, you can polish multiple facets before you have to look at it because they're very repetitive, and if they're polishing well, you can almost do a whole row and just polish and never look at it, which saves you time. You know, when I cut a tanzanite's very difficult to polish, so every facet you have to examine it, make sure it got polished. But things like tourmalines are much easier to polish, and it's you just don't have to look at the stone as much. You can finish in a Portuguese, you can finish in a half a row or an entire row before you look at it, see if everything's polished correctly.
Okay. How long would it take me to cut one?
Well, I hear people talking about 20, 30 hours cutting a simple stone, you know, and I'm going, really? You know, but I understand it. I mean, when I first started cutting, my cutting time was double what it is now. You know, I've had stones that did take me 30, 40 hours to cut that now I'd probably do in half the time, you know, but it's really machine dependent. You know, your speed is much to do with the quality of your machine. And the machines like the one behind me, which is the Ultratech V5, is a machine that reproduces facets. So when you do a Portuguese, you can almost trust the machine to cut that entire row of facets accurately. I mean, they're not totally accurate, but you can cut a complete row and look at it, make sure it's right. And often if there's anything off, you can fix it in polishing. But if you have a low quality machine, that machine will not reproduce facets correctly, and it's going to make your time much, much greater. I've talked about my first machine before that didn't reproduce a facet ever. It was so far out of whack. But not knowing, never machining before, I just thought that's the way things were. And, because of it, I became a great cheater. And that's adjusting the machine to fit a facet. And so it taught me a great lesson that is real useful today. But if I had the choice, I wouldn't learn that lesson, because having a good machine just saves you so much time. So it looks like we had a sale.
We got, yep. We've got the, want to thank Glenna for purchasing the peridot that you just...
Cool. All right, Glenna, you'll love it.
Thanks, Glenn.
Yeah.
Glenna, you probably saw a few inclusions in this picture. You're not going to see them easily when you wear this ring. Everything that's in there will be very difficult or impossible to see. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful stone. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you, Glenna. All right. What's up next? Oh. Wake up, Steve.
Wake up.
I was looking at the wrong screen. Got too many screens on here these days. It's getting complicated. This next stone is an indicolite, which I don't get indicolites very often. Matter of fact, you haven't seen one on a show ever, I don't think.
Maybe.
An indicolite? It was more green than this one, though.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah,
This
this
one is
one's about as blue as it gets. Now, keep in mind that this stone has just a tint of green in it, which actually makes it more beautiful probably than what you see here. It's not quite as blue as on screen, but it is every bit as beautiful or more beautiful than what you're seeing on screen. Really, really a lovely stone. Couple of inclusions in it. Again, they're in person, they're very, very difficult to see. Yeah. Am I on? Okay. All right. And again, this stone is a little greener than it's showing here. Blue-green with my camera, I can't portray blue-greens. There's a lot of stones like apatites and blue zircons, which you'll see some later, that the green just doesn't show up. I don't know how to get my camera to do it. There is one setting that I can change it to that'll give it a little more green, but I can't get up and down to change this camera every time. But anyway, this is a beautiful indicolite. Really, really, really nice stone. And again, indicolite has become just extremely difficult to find from any source. This one comes from Namibia. Well, I can get it in the... Come on. So just imagine this with a little touch of green to it, but it is, for an indicolite, it's the bluest indicolite I've had in 15 years at least. Yeah. So it's really, really nice stone. Weighs just under 5 carat, 4 carat 86. Praise value of $7,290. $34.90 is our online price. And with the 15% off, it is $2,966. And there is some pieces Chris has done. A ring that could be a gent's or a lady's ring, and a pendant. These are the first time I'm seeing some of these designs, and that's a pretty nice design there. I think I'd like that. Yeah, that's nice. Nice looking. Good job, Chris.
Should I mark this gem sold for you?
It's probably a little more reasonable size ring than I've been doing for myself. I made some huge rings thinking I needed huge, but I'm starting to think I'd like a little smaller. This is a really appropriate size for a man's ring. Sometimes you get these big stones and they just set so high on the finger they look awkward. But yeah, I do like that style.
Let's see what it looks like on your hand. You might be able to
Can
do
I
it.
do it over here? Or I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a good size.
I don't know if I can do it up here or not. Yeah, so add the mounting to that, then you make a nice size men's ring or ladies ring. All right.
I don't think we've ever had an Indicolite, Michael. Right?
Yeah, during a show.
No,
No, I don't think so either.
that was the first one.
Yeah,
I'd never even heard of this stone before.
What?
Indicolite.
What? Oh, no, I haven't.
Okay.
Reminds me of an apatite a little bit, but
Yeah, you can get some apatites that look like that, particularly when you see it with the little bit of green that it has in it. Apatite is like that.
wasn't last
apatite.
week's show? Didn't somebody really, really want us to put apatite in a ring or a pendant?
Yeah, I don't even want to put apatite in a tweezer. Just not a very durable stone, but beautiful stone. It looks like Paraiba tourmaline, and for 150 a carat compared to 30,000 a carat. So
I feel like it's like a sick joke from nature. It's like something so beautiful, and then you can't really do anything with it. But look at it.
yeah, we've put a lot of them in pendants.
Do we?
Once you get it in a pendant, our concern is actually setting it. Once it's in the pendant, if you're careful, it's probably a wearable stone. Just don't drop it. And,
Don't plate it.
was that rhodium a problem?
Yeah, remember it etched.
Oh yeah. No rhodium plating for it. It etches the. It's the acid I think that we use on them. Yeah, so they have some issues, but man, there's such a beautiful gem, and I've got some big ones to cut, but they're a nightmare to cut, and I just don't want to deal with it. I've got a Portuguese round that I haven't taken out of the plastic bag. I'm afraid to. Anybody wants a nice big Portuguese round apatite? I have a really great one.
Take it out of the bag.
Yeah. We'll send it to you. You take it out of the bag. No, we'll put it in the mounting. We'll take the rest to mount it. But once it's in the mounting, it's pretty protected, and it's a great piece. But it's just wear around the store has been an issue, taking it in and out, and you drop it on a glass case, you chip it a little bit, and I had an employee once that was new, and she put about 4 apatites into one of the containers we used to store them. They just beat each other up, and now I got to repair 4 apatites that weigh 15, 20 carats. But anyway, one of them sad jeweler's stories.
Sorry, I brought up apatite.
Apatite, yeah. Sorry, we brought up apatite. Yeah, we don't have any apatites tonight, but
This is a cool color, though.
yeah, it is. Not like the indicolite. I mean, some of the apatites do look like the indicolite, but indicolite is a good tough stone. It's 7.5 hardness and has good toughness, so it is a real wearable stone. I say that one came from Namibia. I don't get much from Namibia. There's been some really nice gems from Namibia. Trying to think what they were. There's been some other nice tourmalines.
So would this come from the Skeleton Coast then?
The Skeleton Coast, is that what it's called? Probably. Yeah.
That's where the diamonds were found, right?
Yes. So. Oh, Jeffrey, you know your stuff.
I want to go there, so.
You want to go to Namibia?
Yeah.
Well, you can look for some gems for us.
You got some nice mineral specimens out there.
Michael and
Yeah.
his mineral specimens, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think there was some nice garnets. The Mandarin garnets, I think, came from Namibia.
Are those Brandberg amethysts? Are those Namibian? Is that what?
Brandberg. Oh, I don't know.
I can't remember if that's Namibia
Yeah,
or not.
you stumped Steve. There's other things. So If anybody knows anything from Namibia, let us know. Okay, up next. All right. You've seen this one before. 2 shows ago. This one was natural for as long as I could take it natural. And I just decided to heat it yesterday and make it part of this show. Because I knew it was a great stone, and it really, really is a great stone. And it's high percentage blue. Did I grade this one? I don't know that did I put a grade on it? Anyway, it's mostly blue. And just a beautiful blue it is. You know, it's blue. It has some red flash, which red flash in all blue stones is pretty rare. You do see it occasionally, but you get more red flash out of stones that have a mix of blue and purple. But this one's probably 80% blue or more. Hopefully it says on the website. I should have graded it. But really, really a beautiful tanzanite. If you remember 2 shows ago, this was on there as a natural stone, and we kept it natural because it was a pretty natural stone, just not extraordinary like I like to see naturals. But it really heated well. Just very happy with the color that this came out. You know, and for those of you that like more blue in your tanzanite, this is a stone for you. It weighs 20.46 carats. Almost a completely clean stone, and a appraised price of $27,670. Our online price $13,009, and 15 off that is $11,815. So really an extraordinary stone, and that should be a really good price on the stone. Which is $577 a carat for a top gem tanzanite. Yeah.
And every time that you heat up a tanzanite, a puppy cries.
Oh, well. You know, it's...
Was it last week? Didn't we have another one that you heated that everybody was upset about?
Yeah, and we've got one here we're going to see natural tonight that I'll probably heat too, because it's going to be an amazing stone heated. You know, and the problem is big stones in natural stones are tough for me to sell. They just typically don't sell. Although I've sold several, they're just slow to sell, and they're much better sellers as heated stones. So I give them a chance, and you know, if they sell, great. You know, occasionally you'll get a stone that is so great in a natural stone that I'd never heat it, because these natural stones are some of the rarest stones on the planet. Because ones that have really, really good colors, meaning they're brown, but they have reds and blues and yellow flashes, and you know, just have they're just a really beautiful stone on their own. You know, when I get those, I'm going to keep them till I sell them. But they're so rare that you get those extraordinary colors, and just the whole thing is a beautiful gem, that they really are amongst the rarest gems on the planet. Because most cutters, they'll actually heat the rough stones first, and so they never see what the natural stones look like. You know, my experience is maybe 1 out of 100 is good enough to keep as a natural. So it just makes them exceedingly rare, you know, and all these cutters overseas that heat first, they're never going to have a natural stone because they never saw the beauty of it as a natural, because they heated it before they cut it.
So can you quickly explain to me the process of how you heat these?
Just like baking a cake. You know, you put it in the oven, and...
So you go home, put it in the oven before Mom cooks dinner?
Yeah.
And
Well,
Puts it in with
yeah.
it takes a little more temperature. You know, it's I cook to about 1,050, and the oven is back here in the corner, just out of view, actually.
Yeah, I don't think they're not going to see it.
Yeah. Can I turn the camera?
That's
Risky. There it is, back there in the corner, that black thing. That's all you get. Is that good? Okay.
You can show them again here.
I could show them again.
Let's get a big-
Oh,
let's
you
get
get a
bigger
second.
view.
You get a second shot. A bigger view?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Let me turn this off.
Okay.
There you go,
Okay. See, right? Well, they can't see me point, can they?
You can point at it.
Okay, that's true. Right there. That's the oven. So, and that oven will go to 2,000 degrees, and these stones we heat to 1,050. Generally, people go somewhere between 950 and 1,100 degrees, are what most people heat at. I do 1050. You know, it seems to do as good a temperature as it completes the job. You know, I put them in there. You pack them in some material just so the temperature changes slower. That's a computerized oven, and it, you know, I generally go up about a degree per minute, so 60 degrees an hour. So it takes me 15, 20 hours to heat a stone. You know, if it has some inclusions in it, I heat it slower. So you heat it, and you know the oven goes off, and you know it cools off in 6-7 hours, and you know so in a day you have a heated stone. So the material, let's see, the material generally starts like this. So it's a trichroic stone, so you get different colors in different directions. So it has 3 different directions of color. Can't quite tell which is which. With a microscope, you can see the different colors. So one direction is blue, one's purple, and one's reddish, or, you know, what the 3 colors you'll see in a microscope are blue, purple, and yellow. And once you heat it, the yellow's driven off and leaves just the blue and the purple. On rare occasions, you get a stone like this that came out of the ground this color. And this is really gonna be a great stone. Yeah.
Wow.
In a natural. Unfortunately, you know, I've heard that some labs maybe can identify whether a stone is natural or not. Sometimes you can see in a microscope, you can still see that there's some yellow in them, so you kind of know they're natural. But over the years, I've known this color, because this color is a little bit unique, its appearance from anything heated. But recently, I started seeing heated stones this same color. So I used to think I could identify all natural, unheated tanzanite just by my eye, but I know that's no longer true. This one I know to be natural just because I know the source and he knows his stuff. And one way you can tell a natural is if you heat it later, they typically get better color, has been my experience. Although this one will never get better color. This one's so incredible. One of these days I'll sit down and cut this stone. I think I've showed you this one before, but it's just really an extraordinary stone.
With the heating, does that generally increase the value?
Yeah, it does, because most of the unheated ones are not very pretty. You know, that's why we don't see, like we were talking about, you don't see naturals because they're just not pretty colors. I mean, they just look brown. You know, we had one, I think, one we had on the last show was really pretty. I heated it last time, didn't I? That red one was on the last show, heated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it in the rough was almost red, you know, which was unique. And I thought, oh, I'd like to keep it like this. But, you know, another one that I knew would be fantastic, and it heated to be one of the finest stones I've ever cut. And it's on the website. I don't know, what was 20. It's over 20 karat. It's a square cushion.
You said you wanted to keep that one.
Really a special stone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was one I said if it made it to this show, I was going to keep it. So you better get on there, because I may just do that, because it's a really special stone, over 20 karat and really outstanding color. I think it graded in the 990s, or
Was it the 25
was it
carat?
a perfect?
2508?
Yeah, I think so. Is that on the site?
Emerald cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No?
Was it emerald cut? It was square cushion, wasn't it?
Well, it looks square, but we got listed emerald cut, 16.9, 25.08 carat. Yeah, this was what used to be really red.
Yeah.
I'll post a link to it in the chat.
Oh, don't push it too hard. What'd that grade out as? Was there grading on there? I know there is. Wasn't perfect or
Cut grade excellent.
what's the overall quality grading?
I don't think you gave one.
Really?
Yeah, you're hiding it.
Yeah, maybe. I think it may have had a little bit of inclusion in it. Was it a VS?
Let me see. Asking a lot here. VS2 clarity.
Yeah. So, it wouldn't grade perfect because of that. If it had been a VS1 or better, it'd have been 1,000 would have been the grading on it. That VS2 probably drops into the 980s, but really, really a special stone. Perfect color. Yeah, none better color-wise. Until we get to this one, maybe. This one won't be better, but this one will be extraordinary and it'll be natural. So, but anyway, this one's pretty great too, the one you're looking at right now, for just so blue. And I showed it to my wife today, and that was the first thing she said. Oh, it's so blue. It is. It's mostly blue. Yeah, pretty much what you see there. She said it looks like a sapphire, which a sapphire like that would be, I can't even imagine what it'd be. It'd be 10,000 a carat, so it'd be $250,000 stone.
Probably wouldn't have that cut either.
Yeah, well, thanks, but yeah, the cut's special too. I agree. And what's up next? Another of the tourmalines. And this tourmaline, little story about it is, I don't know if I can say that. Oh, I will anyway. Sorry, Joe. My daughter's boyfriend wanted to know about this stone for my daughter. And I'm pretty protective of my stones that I've got prepared for these shows. So I told him no. And got hell from my wife from it because, you can't do that. It's for your daughter. And but there'll be more, so.
She's got enough stones.
Well, she does have a nice collection.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I probably should feel guilty about that, but well. We'll make it up to him.
Yes.
So this is just a really nice stone, a little different cut. This one, again, this is a cut of my own design. Again, I say that, and there's been so many people that have cut stones that somebody could have done this cut too, but for me, it is my own design. It's basically a step cut crown. It is a 16 mains pavilion, meaning, the standard round has 8 mains. This has 16 mains, and there's actually an extra row of facets just above the main. So it's different than what a standard round normally is. So, but it works really well. I'm almost as fond of it as I am Portuguese cut. It's just a nice mix of cutting styles that produces a really, really nice brilliance.
It's like your daughter is watching.
Yeah, we'll see if she is. Is she?
is.
Oh, is she? Oh. Dana, well, I won't say it. You deserve it, but we'll get you something. Do you like this color, Dana?
So somebody asked, you're talking about this being a cut of your own design. Gentleman on here, I think he was a beginner cutter, but he was asking, what is your favorite cut?
Well, in the past, about 100 jewelers would have said a Barian-style emerald cut because they called me Mr. Barian, and I still do a lot of Barians. So, and it is probably my favorite cut because I can adapt it to any shape stone. Rounds, you don't do rounds in that particular style of cutting, but it is a very adaptable cut. That always produces great brilliance. I mean, I can take a totally freeform cut and do a Barian style to it, and it will be a very brilliant stone. There will be a couple of Barians in this group of stones that I've cut, and I always go to that cut when I don't know what else to do with a stone. It's just a very useful style of cutting designed by Basil Watermeyer. He's a South African diamond cutter. Not sure. I would guess he's dead by now, but I'm not sure because he'd been cutting. When I was young cutting, he'd been a cutter for some time. So Barian is an acronym for Basil, and Marion, his wife, Barian. So it's just a really useful style of cutting that's, like I say, is really adaptable to any shape. I mean, you'll see some freeform kites that I've cut. There's a couple of odd-shaped heliodors on the website that I can think of that I've cut, and it can be a pushed over kite, and you can. You just cut the stone in segments using that style, and it just works every time. I can't think of a Barian I've cut that didn't just produce really great brilliance.
Okay.
So
Barian it is.
And I like Portuguese, but it's the Portuguese is something. It's from a book, and it's not my creation, so I'm not as excited about it, but I use it over and over because it's a really useful and remarkably saleable cut. So that's a good style. And this style works real well for shallower rough. This is material that you couldn't cut a Barian because it's way too shallow a cut. So the good thing about this, it's easily set because Portuguese styles are deeper cuts and they're not going to go into a standard mounting. You've got to manufacture something to fit it. Whereas this cut will fit most diamond mountings. The crown's a little higher, but that's not a problem for setters. It's the pavilion that's the issue with mountings. The depth of the pavilion can prevent you putting them into a standard setting. So really great cut. This one weighs 3.41 carat. Again, it's from the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's a color you've been seeing often because I love the color, and it's a color that Congo produces some really beautiful stones, and I find them regular. I'm constantly looking for them. I don't try not to give any other cutters a chance to buy them because I like the color, and they're pretty limited, but there's enough of them out there that I'm getting a good supply of material. So hope to see more of it, and I'm looking every day looking for this color because before this material from the DRC, it was 1980s since I saw tourmalines this color. I used to get them from a gentleman named Tom Cushman. Tom, if you're watching from Madagascar, hello. If you remember back in probably the late 80s, I used to buy this material from you. Tom was somebody that talked me in to start travel to Madagascar, and from 2000 to 2010, I made many trips to Madagascar, and mostly thanks to Tom Cushman talked me into going there. He moved there and married a fine lady from there, has 2 children, and still lives in Madagascar. Really a great country. If you ever get a chance to go to Madagascar, it's my favorite country of anywhere on the planet. And Jeff, you haven't been there.
To Madagascar?
Yeah.
I've tried with you.
Yeah, Jeff goes everywhere. Goes places I don't want him to go, and I travel quite a bit, and he goes places I wouldn't.
No,
Yeah.
you told me stories about Madagascar and the places in Africa, so I wouldn't say all mine are that bad.
Okay. Did we finish that stone?
Yes, we
Well, the appraised price, $1,755. Am I talking on too much? Sorry. We're going to try and shorten the show a little tonight. Appraised value of $1,755. Our online price of $860. And with the 15 off, it is $731. Really a great stone for the money.
One question on this stone, real quick. I wanted to know if this was considered pink or rubellite.
No.
No.
It is considered, it's in the category of pinks. It's more peachy pink, whatever that color is. I call it peachy. This one's a little redder. I don't even know what that color is. Anybody expert in color? I have a hard time describing these colors. I generally say peach or,
Is that dark salmon?
yeah, salmony.
Like of a salmon, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Salmon. Huh?
I'm getting hungry.
Salmon?
It's peachy pink. You know, and depending on the light you're in, these change quite a bit. They'll go from more peach to in incandescent, and when you go to daylight, they will go pinker. You know, and that's just true of almost all pink tourmalines. If they have any peach to them, as you take them to daylight, they'll turn more red. So they're kind of a shade. I don't want to say shade shifter, but it's they don't color change. They shift, a color shift. And up next is a hidden gem.
Gem number one.
Hidden gem number one. We have 3 hidden gems during the show, and these gems are not visible on the site, and they'll come up. It's our attempt to try and keep you here, because these you get 25% off. So they're heavily discounted, and they're still fine stones with just a really great discount on them. So this one is 3.86 karat tanzanite. Appraised price of $3,860. Sale price is $2,200. And with the 25% off, this stone is $1,870.
Is that one live and under?
Yeah, just to let everybody know, if you've been monitoring, if you're on MoreGems.com and you click on the bar at the top to take a look at all the stones, this one now shows. So if you're on there, you may have to just refresh your page, but it is now there for the purchase.
So the stones of this size are probably the highest value of any of the stones, and when material becomes rare, this is the most demanded size. The 3-4 carat sizes are high demand. So as this stone gets rarer, and the big stones are priced out of everybody's market, these sizes become the stones that are of the highest value, the most saleable. That 3-4 carat sizes, you know, because one day these will be $1,000-$1,500 a carat, and you know, once they get into those prices, now we're starting to talk about $6,000-$7,000, which is, you know, still a saleable price, but kind of the high end of the regular market. So nice stone, some red flash in it, and just a really good brilliance. Square cushions are a really saleable cut these days. It's really only been the last 10 years that the overseas cutters have started cutting square cushions. You know, but the whole market, just like the diamond market, went to square cushions, became extremely popular, and colored stones, it did the same. So the stone comes out to about $484 a carat on this stone. This is very high clarity VS1. You know, I've generally been using VS1 as my highest end. You know, previously I've been doing VVS, but, you know, grading things VVS is really putting yourself on the line, because VVS is such a high clarity that it's easy to miss things. So you're generally going to start seeing VS1 as being my highest grade. So I think this one, color range on this one, yeah. Should be fully graded on the site. I can't tell you exactly what the color is. I don't have the right lights to see the color grade, because when I grade these stones, I'll grade in incandescent and grade in daylight, and I grade both of those color ranges because they do change quite a bit. All tanzanites change in different lights. You get more blue in daylight and more violet in the incandescent. And these lights I have are kind of a mix of what you're seeing today of the two lights. So you can look on the site and it'll give you a percentage of what the colors are. I give things like, if it's a violet blue exceptional stone, violet will be the accenting color. And
Is blue violet exceptional 40-60.
Okay, so 40-60 being blue violet means 40 is the blue and 60 is the violet. So this one has more violet to it than the blue. So and you'll see that we've started grading stones above 2 carats with a new system that gives an overall quality rating, which I break down tanzanites into 3 different factors. The color, and I grade the daylight color and incandescent color, and then grade the clarity of the stone, and then I break down cut into 4 different factors and give it a grade, and then combine the 3 different factors and give it an overall quality rating. All right, I finished that stone? Okay. And our next one is really an exceedingly rare stone. Chrome tourmaline, one of my favorites. I buy it whenever I can, and I've had a lot of chrome tourmalines this year. And I've done a lot of chrome tourmaline over the years. I've told you I've quit cutting chrome tourmaline because it's a nightmare. You never quite get it right. They're usually too dark is what happens. Look perfect in the rough, and then once you cut them, they just get too dark. And particularly big stones. Getting stones over 2 carats that are not overly dark is the problem. And here's a stone. This is a 7.46 carat and really remarkable color. This is maybe the biggest chrome tourmaline I've ever owned. Not sure that's a fact, but it's been many years since I've had anything over 5 carat. And this is just really a remarkable stone. Just really very nicely cut. I did not cut it, but well cut, really open color. And again, that's the problem you see with all large chrome tourmalines. They're just overly dark, and they just don't show brilliance like this stone does. So this one weighs 7.46, appraised value of $13,400. Chrome tourmaline next to Paraíba is the most valued of the tourmalines. Paraíba, of course, can bring $30,000 a carat, whereas chrome tourmaline, this is probably the high end of material, somewhere in the $1,200-$1,400 price range per carat. Sale price on this one, $10,009. And with the 15% off here, $9,265. Divided by 7.46, which puts it right about $1,240 a carat. But just a beautiful green stone. It's the least expensive of the chrome-colored stones. We'll leave chrome diopside out of this because it's not really a wearable stone. But 3 most important chrome stones would be emerald, which is chrome colored, Savorite, which is actually colored by vanadium but has chrome in it, and this chrome tourmaline, again, the least expensive. Emerald anywhere approaching this color is 15,000 a carat. Savorite garnet is 4,000 to 5,000 a carat, and this one at 1,200 a carat. So talking about chrome, I was going to try and show you what a chrome filter does, but I don't have the lighting that'll allow me to do that. Whoop. I guess I can show this. This is a chrome filter. And these we use, you can separate like Savorite and garnet and chrome tourmaline, because the Savorite, even though it has chromium in it, the vanadium, I'm not sure if that's what cancels out the chromium, but when you look at chrome tourmaline with this filter, you put this up to your eye and hold the stone in bright light, and it will appear red for a stone that has chromium. Whereas Savorite with the vanadium will not appear red under this. The other stone that is related to Savorite is Moriarty mint garnet. It actually does show green in this, so we assume that it's more colored by chromium rather than the vanadium in the case of Moriarty mint garnet. Show you a couple pieces. Here's a piece of rough of chrome tourmaline. You can see some of the faces of the crystal. This should cut a nice stone, probably 2.5, maybe 2.5 carat. Then I've got this preform. So I guess, even though I say I don't cut chrome, I guess I will be cutting some chromes. Taking that risk again. It's just been, it's kind of a, it's often disappointing cutting chromes. But I think both these 2 stones should do okay. This is a preform. You can pretty much see what the color is going to be.
What's the yield on that going to be like?
This yield will be 65%, maybe 70%, if I'm lucky. So, and it weighs 9.4 carat. If I'm lucky, I'll get a 6 carat out of it. So, we'll see. Next show.
So you're going to cut a round out of that?
That's a good idea, Michael. Michael's going to learn cutting here shortly. As you can tell, he knows nothing.
Joke.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
No, he is a pretty smart kid. And a good cutter. He's only cut 1 stone.
Oh my! I've cut
2?
No, I probably cut like 5.
Oh, come on.
Maybe 7
No way.
over the years for sure.
Oh, okay.
Someone was just asking who's gonna cut next once you
Once I what?
once you get too tired and you
Oh,
start
okay.
golfing in Florida all year.
Yeah. Well, it won't be golf.
Once you start
I know you're starting to golf, but it's not my thing. I've
about
given
bowling?
up on golf.
bowling.
Bowling.
We went bowling then.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. Where was my invite?
You were in Ireland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good excuse. Okay.
All right. Moving on from chrome tourmaline. Oh. Next one. We talked about these last show, all the great rough we got, which it is great rough. It's just hard for me to sit down and cut them because these are stones that are just difficult to cut. This took a lot of time. You're asking about how much time. This is probably 8 hours time because the difficulty of polishing this material. I'm really going to work on finding new ways to polish because, everybody I know has difficulty with amethyst. and I'm no different. It's just an issue polishing, so it just takes a lot of time.
I read somewhere somebody was talking about aluminum oxide.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know aluminum oxide really works. I don't believe it does, but if somebody can tell me ways to polish this material, I've heard a lot of talk about different ways, but
Maybe it wasn't aluminum.
it
I
was,
just saw some.
yeah.
Talking about it.
Well, I'm going to try some different laps and see. I'm still using Spectra laps, which do a good job, but they're expensive, and, you go through a lot of them. This took 3 separate Spectra laps, and they're $5 a piece. Not that that's a lot of money, but, overseas they couldn't afford to do it. But it produces a nice polish, but still, they have problems. They contaminate easily. Just a very difficult thing. And the bigger the stone is, the more difficult it is. And this is a big one. This one weighs 37.68 carats. And I said I've got rough. I mean, here's a piece of rough that's going to cut a 120 carat stone. I don't know when I'll sit down and do it, because this will be a 8-10 hour stone. It's just going to be a lot of work. And we've got 4 kilos of it. How many kilos do we buy?
Maybe, I don't know.
I got 3 kilo, and you got 1?
I got about 75%.
Yeah. So we have a lot of material to cut, so we'll be cutting this for years, but it's just such great material. This is the closest thing to the material that came out of Rwanda that I've seen from anywhere. This comes from Bahia in Brazil. Just a spectacular color, and you look at it in different lights, and you do get that blues and red pleochroic colors. Like you look at in this video, just really soft, just beautiful colors, and from the average Rwanda material, this is good as all except the best of Rwanda material, and we've got 3 kilos of it to cut. So you'll be seeing a lot of stones in the future, and maybe not a lot, they're going to trickle in, but we'll have them regularly, and just things from 15 carat. All the rough we bought is pretty good size. 15 carat, like that said, that 100 carats rough. So this one, appraised value $3,768. Our online price $19.90.
And the gentleman said here, sorry. Go finish your
My
pricing.
calculations.
Yes.
15 off, $1,690. Go ahead, Jeff.
So a gentleman said that he uses a cerium on a dark side lap.
Which I have a dark side, and I'm going to try it again. I think I tried it. I may not have tried it for quartz, and I think maybe that's what I bought it with. And that was the next thing I'm going to try, and hopefully it's easy to use. I don't know. Do you feel that it's simple to polish with, or it's still somewhat difficult? Yeah.
I'll see what he says.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully it is, because I do own one, and it was definitely the next one I was going to try. I think I tried it, but I'm not sure I tried it on quartz. I'm not sure what I used it for first, and I had some issues with it, but I didn't give it a real good try, But when you see people talking about polishing quartz, it's most of the people have difficulty with quartz, much more difficult than most other stones. So, and sometimes the spectral laps on some material it's just so easy to polish. But then the next one you do, it's just a pain, so. All right, what's up next? All right, here's our Portuguese round tanzanite. And this one, a really special stone. This was a recut of a stone I bought. I bought a stone in Tucson that was horribly cut, and this is a recut of that stone. So there's a mounting that Chris did for a stone like this.
That one was color sketch. We put
Oh
that
yeah,
together.
and
Kept
this
it on
was
size.
this is a piece we did on Counter Sketch. Counter Sketch is um, a it's
A user-friendly.
yeah
version of
yeah
CAD.
yeah CAD for dummies, something I can use. Yeah. So, and I've used it many times, and I think Tracy did
Yeah,
these.
she put-
Yeah,
she did.
yeah. Tracy did a good job. If you're watching, Tracy and Jim, are you watching? She sat down and did these, and
Well, this one was Chris. But
oh
the one
yeah,
at the
that's
end,
yes.
So.
So this one was done on Matrix. Christopher Michael Designs. My nephew Chris did that, and that stone is done on Counter Sketch. And Counter Sketch does a good job, just very, very limited what it can do. What it does is good, but, there's not a lot of options. You can't take just any shape, any size stone and make a piece out of it, and limited the designs you can do. But we've made many pieces on Counter Sketch. Yeah. And here's Portuguese. Yeah, and this stone is a deeper color, like what you see on the website. I can't do much adjustments of the lighting in this situation, and the brightness is a little too great, but it really shows the brilliance of the stone, not so much the color of the stone. But this has a lot of red flash in it. All those things that are looking like purple are really red flash. Which is a characteristic that you occasionally get in tanzanites. Don't expect to get it often, because maybe it's one in 1,000 stones. Probably 1 in 100 of what I own, but we're just selecting the top, and you only see red flash in really, really deep, intense stones.
Somebody wants to know if you can you just, I know you got bigger finger, that's not a woman, but can you put it against your finger so they can see the
Sure.
size?
So, bigger stone, but not too big for a ring. For a woman, for sure. The Portuguese does not, for a 7-carat stone, it really looks visually like a 5-carat, because of the depth of the material. Because you can, sure you can. You can kind of see how a little out of the focal range there. You can see how deep the pavilion on a Portuguese is. So there's 5 rows of facets on the pavilion. So it produces a deep cut, but that's what gets you this type of brilliance. As I've often said, when I look at stones in Bangkok, the ones that just stood out, you pulled them out of a parcel and they looked like snow cones, but they had the most brilliance. So this stone, 7.33 carats, appraised price of $91.50. $54.90 is our price online, and $46.66 with the 15% off. And up next is a blue zircon. If I can find it. There it is. So this is a nice emerald cut. And nice because it's not cut deep like most blue zircons are. Blue zircon typically has that snow cone look. The rough is deep and they cut all the material that's there. This one has about, it's still a slightly deep cut, but for blue zircon, quite shallow. But produces a nice brilliance. The color, like I said, color is more like what's online, a little bit different, hard to reproduce the blue-green color that it has. But that's close. Those are close. But what you're seeing in here now just looks much more blue than it is. I have a setting on this camera that'll add some of the green to it, but we're not set up with that currently. But really great brilliance. Zircon just has some of the greatest brilliance of all the stones. Almost a diamond-like brilliance that you get out of this material due to its high refractive index. And actually, this cut is a little like, well, this is a, I was going to say this looks like the cut I'm doing, and I did cut this. It's a recut. Yeah, I recut this stone. So I bought some emerald cuts, and I was thinking this was one I bought, but this was one that needed recutting, and I did recut it. There's a little schmutz there on the girdle that you don't get with it. Needs to be rubbed off, but just a really pretty stone. Yeah. I looked at that cut and I go, oh, that looks like the cut I'm doing. Yeah, it is my cut.
2 quick questions on zircon. 1, the hardness, and 2, someone heard that it fades.
Doesn't fade. The hardness is 8, so it's a good hard stone. Fading is some of the other colors. I've seen yellows from Tanzania that have changed color, and blues from Tanzania that have altered color. The blues, you can bring the color back by reheating them, but this material from Kampuchea, which formerly was Cambodia, and I think they're trying to get the name back to Cambodia again, but this Cambodian material, no fading. I've never seen a stone fade. So, but it's good, hard, wearable stone. What happens to these stones over a period of years and years is the facet edges can tend to chip. Heating gives stones a little, it makes them a little less durable. And old blue zircons, I was in a antique mall once, and I saw a stone and it said it was a blue synthetic. And I looked at it and I looked at all these chips on the girdle. I knew what it was. It was blue zircon. Bought that stone, ended up being, it said blue stone in sterling silver or something. It ended up being a blue zircon in platinum. So it was one of those rare buys. But I could identify it just by the nature of all the chips on the facet edges. Those are things that they're minor problems, but you do have to recut it to get it back to what it should be. But that's the only issue with blue zircon. But you see that in sapphire also. Heated sapphires, those facet edges will chip much, much easier than what an unheated stone will. Same true for garnets. You see the facet edges are more easily chipped. But definitely a characteristic of zircon. So this one, 4.01 carats, 1620 is the appraised price. $895 is our price online. Comes down to $760 for the stone. And up next is a Savorite garnet. Savorite during Tucson time, there was just, I don't know where the rough came from, but there was more rough available in Tucson than I've seen in years. And I do think it came from one supplier, most of it. And I'm thinking I had an opportunity to buy this parcel but it was too much. The parcel was huge. so it wasn't even into thinking about. And later in the show, we got to see the parcel again, split up amongst many dealers, and I was able to pick, and still a reasonable price to pick at it. And so we bought some material, and cuts really nice stones. I'm very happy with the material. Very deep color. I was worried it was going to be overly dark, but not overly dark. It is cutting a nice open color. This particular stone weighs 1.5 carats, a nice square step cut. And you can see there's a Christopher Michael design that would be very lovely for this stone. Little halo with a split on the side. Got and one that Tracy did in counter sketch. Oh, is this a counter sketch piece too? Huh? Yeah, a couple. All right, good job, Tracy. And good job, Chris. Yeah. So this stone, 1.5 carats, appraisal at $3,000. $1,650 is our online price, and $1,400 for the stone. So somewhere around $900 a carat. But really lovely Savorite garnet. Not easy to find them in nice square cuts. So really pretty stone. And our next stone is an Imperial Zircon. Again, if you've followed our shows, you find this is one of my favorites. Just because I've got a friend that he does a lot of material, and unfortunately the availability of it has dropped somewhat. But just gets some really, really great colors. These kind of like the tourmalines, that same peachy color, which has always been my favorite. Malaya garnets of this color has always been my favorite of all gems. But unfortunately, Malaya garnet has gotten quite expensive in these color ranges. They're typically $600-700, sometimes $1,000. Big stones, $2,000 a carat in the garnets, and pretty darn similar colors to these. And here you're looking at a stone that's a couple $100 a carat. Again, these stones, no fading for these stones, as someone asked. But this is a color that is very stable in my experience. So this one weighs 4.04 carat. Really nice emerald cut. Praise price of $1,270. $880 is our online price, and with the coupon code STORM, it is $748. So about $185 a carat. Another nice design by Chris. I didn't realize Chris spent so much time designing for these things this week, but something we wanted to do, provide you with a few design ideas. And of course, these stones aren't stuck to these designs. We'll make whatever you want out of them. You can buy our stones loose, or you can have us mount them. That's up to you, but this would be a pretty style. It is. I do like that. And if this lasts for a few weeks, maybe we'll sit down and put this piece together, because, a lot of these things that Chris has put together for this show, I'm really happy with the designs. Looks like it's a pear-shaped diamond on the side. And you can put any color on the side. We could do emeralds, we could do sapphires. I think about a zircon and sapphire ring I did for, I won't say your name, Joe. A long time ago, But we can do any color combination, or you can do it with the diamonds. Just very pretty stone in an emerald cut. Okay. Up next, another one of our hidden gems. It's another tanzanite. Nice big stone, 6.26 carats.
The hidden gem. Again, for the new people here, the hidden gem are 25% off, right?
Yep.
What's the coupon code?
Rare 25.
Rare 25. So you just have to go to
okay.
MoreGems.com. For the people that have been checking our page with all our stones, it is now there. So you can purchase it with coupon code RARE25.
So another stone, under 500 a carat, which, if you check out our site, most of these stones of this size are more in the 650 a carat range, which is probably where this one started. So it is a good value. I mean, very brilliant stone, just nicely cut. Portuguese style pavilion and a brilliant style crown, which is typical of what's cut in both Tanzania and India. Pretty stone. Again, very high clarity. Basically, I didn't see anything in the stone. VS1 is what the grading is. So 25 off on this with the coupon code RARE25.
Not sure you stated this, but it was a 4060 violet blue exceptional. So does that mean it's a little bit more blue?
Violet, more blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, more blue in this stone. Kind of the opposite of the last one.
Last one, yeah, was
It
4060.
was 4060, but
more violet.
was blue violet instead of violet blue.
Yes.
I've started putting on the site the percentage, and then I say whether it's more blue or because people don't quite understand. The first color, like violet blue, the first color is the modifier, like an adjective. It's accenting the second color. So violet blue is more blue. Blue violet is more violet.
Yeah, we may need a different way. We're going to redesign the site anyway, so maybe a better way of splitting that out.
Of explaining it.
Yes. Maybe a little chart.
Okay.
Or a little thing that,
Visual.
has a little line bar and then more towards the violet. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
We could do something like that.
Yeah. In our spare time.
You guys won't have to do it. We'll get it all done. We got
Okay.
developers.
Okay. I'll give you all the information. You just figure it out. Okay, we had a sale.
Yep. We got Bob, who purchased the Emerald Cut Zircon.
Oh, cool.
Sweet.
All right.
Bob,
What are you going to do with that, Bob? We could, I don't know what that ring they had on there was a lady's ring. One Chris did. And we could do a style similar for a men's ring, too. Yeah.
yeah, with the ladies.
Oh, that's one Tracy did. That's
You could do that.
that was a blue zircon.
Oh,
Oh, was it the blue zircon he bought or the
It was with
imperial?
blue.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I was confused.
cool.
Cool. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Okay, what's next there, Michael?
Peridot.
Peridot. All right. This peridot is kind of unique. Much more blue. Kind of. This is more like Marilani mint garnet. It's a kind of a what do we call that? Minty color. Can't get that in focus. All right. So this is a Berrien style. This is what we're talking about. I don't know if I can get the faceting in focus.
Did you cut that one?
Yeah.
I didn't write that on there.
Did I cut it?
I don't know. We bought some cut. Remember they were doing some pretty good
Yeah. No, I bought this cut. And it is basically a Berrien style. Yeah, I bought this cut. Yeah, because that's not the crown I'd do. Yeah, our Peridot rough supplier kind of surprised us with some really, really nice cutting. And we had a few stones in the last few shows that were just, we noted when they showed us, wow, that cutting's pretty nice. He said, yeah, we got a new cutter. So hopefully we'll be able to buy more cut from them. If you do cutting this quality, I'm happy with it, because when I look at it and I can't tell whether I cut it or not, I can tell my style is a little different, but, just really, really well cut stone. So this one weighs 6.58 carat, and appraised price of $2,790. $1,490 is our online price. And with the coupon code STORM, what's that come out to be? We're $1,266. Like I said, Peridot these days much, much more difficult to get than it's been in the past 15 years. This source is probably 20 years old. Don't quote me on that. I kind of lose track of when things came out. I think these came out in the late 90s, maybe. So puts it into the mid 20 years. But for the last 6, 7, 8 years, Peridot has been much, much more difficult to come up with. Especially stones of this color. These minty colors come out on occasion. But they're just really beautiful colors. Just changes people's opinion of Peridot when you get them this kind of color. Comes from the birthstone being the least desired to, much more desirable birthstone. All right, and next stone there, Mike. So here's a natural tanzanite. Another one. This one's debatable whether I'll change it, but if it really has beautiful colors.
Yeah, wait about a month.
Yeah. But it'll heat into an amazing stone. And the only issue I have with this stone is it's a little dark, so in some lighting conditions it doesn't show to its best, but you get it into the right light and you see these colors coming out of it. And what you see as reddish is red in certain lights. I mean, those flashes are just red as red can be. This is really a totally unique stone in my experience. But I know once it's heated, it'll be an extraordinary stone. This stone has an interesting history. Steve, if you're watching, Steve supplied me the stone. We've been friends for many years, traveled to Tanzania together. This is a stone he sent me, and I sent it back. I said, it's just too dark. It's going to cut black. And I saw him again in Tucson, and I looked at it again, and I go, well, maybe it's not. And I said, okay, what the heck, let's try it. And he was right. It not too dark, dark, but definitely not too dark. And when this stone heats, it'll just be amazing. I have no question it'll be one of the finest stones I've ever seen. But for a while, we'll keep it natural. Because, like I say, you get this in the right light, and it is an extraordinary natural stone. Again, if it was one shade lighter, it would never be heated, just because of the flashes you get out of it. You get so many different colors of flash that come out of this, and the intensity of the reds and the extraordinary blues that you see in it are like nothing I've ever seen in a natural stone. It's kind of like the one we heated last show that was so red. This has an even more intense red, but it's not all red. It has all that blue in it also. So it's really a special stone. For a collector, it's really a great stone. In general, as a ring stone, I think it's going to be too dark. It's only going to show in certain lights. But when you can show it in the right light, it's really a special natural stone. So we'll see how long I keep this as natural. I'd be kind of anxious to see what it looks like heated. I'm sure it'll have the most amazing red flash, probably of any stone I've ever heated once it gets heated. Don't know that for a fact, but I know what I'm looking at, and I know it's going to be an exceptional stone, and no question it'll be one of the finest that I've ever had. And this one's clean, and it'll probably heat into one of those stones that gets a perfect grading, 1,000 grading would be my guess. So this stone praises at $38,270. Our online price is $20,560, and with the 15 off, $20,500. It is $17,478. 28.36. So about $616 per carat. And I do firmly believe that heated this will be as good a stone as there is on the planet. All right, and the next stone up is a pear-shaped rhodolite garnet. Nice big stone, almost umbellite color. The difference between rhodolite and umbellite is a shade difference in color. Umbellite is typically a little bit lighter, although this stone came out really, really nice. Again, a color I was a little afraid was going to be overly dark, especially to cut it into a pear shape. But the stone is brilliant throughout. Deep color, yes, but not overly dark by any means. Just has full life throughout the stone. The stone weighs 13.66 carat, which is a big rhodolite garnet. Praise price of $38.20. Our online price is $2,050, which puts it at $742. So for a big garnet, really good price, because garnets are the stone that has gone up probably the maybe not the most in the business, but it's gone up more than almost all gems. The price increase in garnets over the past 10 years is probably 2.5 times what they were. And rightfully so. I mean, garnet is one of the most beautiful of all gems. Comes in a really broad color range, particularly since a material that came out of Mahenge. Mahenge is what changed that full market, because they started producing colors we've never seen before, created an interest in garnets that is unprecedented. I've always been heavily into garnets and always loved them, but that source out of Mahenge really changed everybody's outlook of garnet. And now the Mahenge, you you can't hardly buy mahenges. And if it has mahenge on it, it's going to cause a double of the price. You know, you could look at a mahenge garnet that is almost the same color as this, and it'll be double the price of what this stone is from another source. You know, and that's true of many gems, you know, like Burmese rubies. You know, you add that name to it, and it just increases the value of the stone, whether it's a better stone or not. Right or wrong, it's just how the business has been. So this stone, I gave the price on this already, did I?
Good.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So a nice clean stone for a garnet. You know, garnets typically have silk in them. This one's not silky. You know, silk is probably some of the biggest issues with garnets. Silk is just a typical inclusion in garnets that definitely affects the brilliance of them. This stone, not silky, has some inclusion because I graded as a VS, probably somewhere between VS2 and VS1. So mostly clean stone, but some inclusions, but not something you're going to see during wearing of this stone.
Do you think pendant or ring for that one?
Either. You know, it's not too big for a ring. You know, for many people it is too big, but you know, definitely not an extremely large stone, and make a great ring. You know, see if I can. Feel dyslexic in front of this camera. Okay, get your hand in view.
Left is right.
Put
right is
stone in front of your hand. And try and get it in focus. But anyway, big ring, but not too big. Yeah. So, pretty ring. Pretty pendant. So that stone is from Tanzania. I'm not sure the exact source of where that's from. These garnets come from many places. Originally from Kangala was the, not the original source, but the biggest source that produced back in the 1990s. Probably finished producing in the early 2000s. The supply went to next to nothing. I still see an occasional stone out of Kangala, but pretty stone. Big stone for garnet. You know, garnets typically don't come in large sizes because they tend to get overly dark also. Particularly the reds, you know, rhodolites and, you know, 5 carat and above are an issue getting them to a point where they're not overly dark. Here's a future piece of rough. This will cut again a nice big stone. Good shape for good yield. Looks like occlusion there. So maybe next show we'll see this stone. Can't tell. Probably an oval or... We'll see. Another probably 10, 15 carat stone.
Someone was asking if you ever get red spinels.
Almost never.
I got some crystals.
Yeah, we have crystals. And maybe some of those we should cut.
There is one color in there.
Yeah, there's even included, they're worth good money. You know, the problem with red spinel is the extreme price, you know, and people's unwillingness generally to spend that kind of money on spinel. They don't know it, you know, but spinels have increased in price significantly. The Tanzanian spinel has gone up dramatically, and now we're looking at even pinks that are 1,000 a carat and more. Reds, can be 3,000 a carat, 4,000 a carat. You have a 2-carat fine red spinel. I'm thinking we're in the 4,000, 5,000 a carat range. Actually, I could look it up and see in the gem guide. But you just don't see fine reds. The reds are more like garnets. Not the fine ruby red. So spinel reds in a 2-carat, 4,500 a carat is what they're quoting wholesale. On an under 2-carat, 55 and 2-carat and above. So they have gotten quite expensive. And a 2-carat spinel is not that big a stone, so that's partly the issue is the price of the stones just puts it out of the general market. The things that sell for me and most dealers are probably the under $5,000 stones. So, but a fine red spinel can be a beautiful stone. I keep thinking about one I sold that was a 2-carat way back when. I mean, we're talking the 1990s, and I sold it for $350 a carat, and it was just like the finest ruby I've ever seen. I should find out who that is and see if I could get it back for $500 a carat. Or But that's why I don't have spinels, and I haven't seen one offered to me that is extraordinary enough to make me want to spend a couple thousand a carat or more on a spinel. Yeah.
You heard of a Jedi spinel?
Yeah, I have. I can't quite place what it is because I've never bought one. There's been a lot of new spinels out. The Jedis, I don't know if those are blues.
Is that supposed to be related to Star Wars? Or is that just...
I maybe it's a lightsaber color. I don't know. I haven't owned one, and, I've seen the name, and I've looked at them in pictures, but I can't off the top of my head tell you what Jedi really is. Can you find one, Jeff? But there's been Burma, a lot of blues.
Specifically, I guess.
It's from Burma?
Yeah.
Which Burma and has produced some of the finest, and Vietnam has produced some beautiful spinels.
They're pinky red.
They're red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were those blue ones we saw?
The cobalts.
No. These were the crystals, those small. They start with a G or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember where those are.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're African.
If I haven't owned it, I don't know it. Just to look at stones, I forget the names. Stones, it happens. But
yeah, this person says their source has been Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah.
And someone else. Oh, we got a lot of spinel stuff here. So, purple spinels. Seen those?
Nothing extraordinary.
Okay.
Can't say I've seen anything. And most purple stones, I keep looking at. Often I go, why do I want to own a purple stone that looks like an amethyst? Which I shouldn't look at it like that, but I do. When I see amethyst, it looks more beautiful than most purple stones that I see out there, and those purple stones are 500, 1,000 a carat, and I go, well, I'd almost rather have an amethyst, but that shouldn't be my answer because I have had some nice purple sapphires. We just set up a purple sapphire, I think. That while we're talking about it, that will be part of our, what are we calling it? We're having a reveal.
Drop Thursdays.
What is it called?
Jewelry Drop Thursdays.
Jewelry Drop Thursdays. So you can look forward to that. We're trying to buy weekly. We've been working to try and produce more pieces. We're doing that by cutting out a lot of the repairs we do, a lot of the designing for other people's stones that we do. So we're trying to make better use of our shop to produce more of our own jewelry using the stones we cut. So every 2 weeks on Thursday, we're going to have a jewelry drop Thursday or whatever we call it. We're going to reveal our new pieces. I assume we'll be doing it on YouTube, or how are we going to do it?
We're still in the works. This is
Yeah.
fresh. This is brand new, but hopefully we'll start it next Thursday. It should be the second and fourth Thursday of every month.
So it should be the week after our typical show and then 2 weeks later. So twice a month, if we can produce enough goods, we're going to reveal new pieces to you all at once and try and make it a little more exciting for everybody to see all the new pieces. So it'll be a little like this show. I don't know what the format's going to be, whether it's just going to be online or we're going to do something like this.
Yeah, it'll just be the day of. We'll release it online.
Yeah.
There won't be a video with it or anything.
So we'll just release all the pieces online that we produce in those 2 weeks, and you have an opportunity to buy all the new pieces or just to see and enjoy new styles, because we've been really having issues with production of pieces. You know, we do most of our time is spent on custom designs for like the stones we sell on these shows and stuff. But we really want to get a lot more of our pieces made up and ready to offer online, because we have, I have 1,000 stones sitting here just dying for a mounting, and we're just going to try and make that happen and make the presentation to you a little more exciting by revealing a lot of pieces at once. So look forward to our Thursday jewelry reveal, and it'll start next Thursday. So we've got a good start on pieces produced and some really, really beautiful pieces, and we hope to have a lot more by then. And stay tuned. We'll send out emails. So if you don't have us connected email with you, get that to us, and you'll know just when they're released.
Yes, and just to let everybody know, as Steve was talking there, there will be, I'll post a link if you want to sign up for it. If you're not part of our email list, I'll post a link in the chat for where you can just add your email address, and you'll be notified when we do these releases. But for those people that aren't in the chat, if you just sign up for our newsletter, if you go to our MoreGems.com, you can sign up. Otherwise, if you can listen quickly here, it's going to be MoreGems.com /pages/jewelry-drop. If you can remember that. But I'll post a link as well.
Yeah, if you can remember that.
We'll do some posts.
Yeah. If you're on our social media, if you're following us on Facebook, we'll post it there. But there'll be an email address, so you can sign up, and you'll always be notified when those new drops are coming.
Yeah, it should be exciting, because we got some really beautiful pieces. I know there's a couple of new Sri Lankan sapphire pieces, really a cool chrome tourmaline piece. I've got a opal that we're working on that'll have sapphire and emeralds around it. Hopefully they just came today, the sapphires and emeralds. Hopefully they're nice, and it's like a black opal pendant, cool pendant, and we'll have some ammonite pendant, at least one, and not sure what else, but it'll be a fun day. So up next is this match pair of blue zircons, really pretty cuts, kind of different style of cutting, a little different outline shape, and extraordinarily brilliant. As blue zircons are, this is a really a nicely matched pair. And of course, again, this picture shows it without the greenish tint that blue zircon is known for. But the brilliance is outstanding in these stones. These come from Kampuchea or Cambodia. And some people are trying to call this Campbellite, after Cambodia. I don't think it seems to be happening, but
Yeah, we don't
there
see
are a
companies
few
selling
suppliers that are trying to make that happen. They think blue zircon, which blue zircon is. I often have to explain to people, blue zircon, it's a natural stone, because they hear zircon and you start thinking cubic zirconia, and that's the issue that these people have with the name zircon is people get the impression that it's a synthetic man-made stone, but these are natural. Other than heat treated to enhance their color. It's another stone like tanzanite. It starts out brownish, and when you heat it, the brown leaves the stone and leaves just this bluish green color. Totally stable, but just really remarkable stone. We've sold many, many blue zircons just because of the extreme brilliance they have and the beautiful color. Unlike other blue stones like blue topaz, they have that secondary green that really makes them stand out. This pair, appraised value $5,485. $2,740 is the online price. And $2,329 is the price with the coupon code STORM. And I bought several other blue zircons if you have any interest in a different shape, different size stones. It's still been a little difficult for me to get. My primary supplier from Cambodia has not managed to make it here in 2 years. So supply has been somewhat limited, but what I did buy is very, very fine colors. And our next stone is kind of another unique stone. Unique cut to bicolor tourmaline. This stone, blue and green, and this is an opposed bar crown. A little too much light. Well, this lighting situation isn't the best.
Yeah, it looks good and nice.
In diffused light, it's really remarkable. Like daylight you'd see under a tree or in the shadows. It just stands out really well, like this picture. Yeah. And again, the inclusions you see in these videos are difficult to see. Definitely not a flawless stone, but for a big stone like this in a bicolor, it's quite clean and appears really good in person. So this stone weighs 20 carat, just a big bicolor. Unique cut, has that pavilion I was talking about with the split emerald cut. And then I mixed it with this opposed bar crown, and the brilliance works really nicely. Just kind of gives it a unique look, and then you've got the bicolor to go with it. So the stone appraised price of $7,060, $3,700 is our online price, and $3,145 is the price with the coupon code STORM. So this kind of gives you, there's a crystal that'll give you an idea of what these tourmalines kind of look like shape-wise. Why you get these long, thin cuts. Not that this one's going to be remarkably thin. This is another one of those peach colors. It's going to cut a big stone. All those inclusions are surface, so there's a big stone inside this. I don't know, maybe a 30 carat. Yeah, the piece of rough weighs 90 carat. There's probably a 30 carat stone in this.
Nice crystal.
Yeah, nice crystal, Mike.
They were actually selling that one as a mineral specimen, I think.
Yeah,
Who we bought it from? He had it in his mineral.
that's true.
You nabbed that out of there.
Yeah, no way this one's going to stay as a mineral specimen. Yeah, a 30 carat stone like this is a $6,000 stone. Maybe more. 30 carat, probably $10,000 stone. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like when it's finished. See if it cuts clean and just how big it'll cut and just how deep the color is. You know, I was a little concerned it'd be a little bit light, but as I look at it now, I think it's going to be really a beautiful stone, much like some of the colors you saw today in some of these stones.
I'm going to hold that up for him. So,
Whoop. Looks a little, yeah, here. Oh, it's huge.
good.
It is a big stone. So we'll get to that here in the next couple of weeks. Cut that one. Next show. All right, what's next? Should we... The last hidden gem. I hadn't planned on selling this one loose. I was going to mount this up, but needed something different. Just a real nice watermelon slice. You know, most of these you'll see that the outer edge is just beat up or they're cracked through the outer edge. This is just a nice slice. I mean, they're never clean. This is about as clean as you'll see them. And look at the different colors. You know, this is like a multicolor watermelon slice. Makes for a really nice pendant. You know, it'll show up nice against clothing.
Actually, it looks pretty good when we back it with a high polish
Metal?
metal.
Oh, really?
The light comes in, reflects out, and actually gives you that.
We did one like that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Different source of tourmaline, but I think it did pretty good for it.
So this is a slice across this crystal. Like that. You know, you can see the striations that are typical of tourmaline. You know, it's one of the identifying characteristics of tourmalines. You see it in some other crystals too, but it's almost always in tourmalines. So that's just a really nice slice, and it's almost 25 carat. $8.90 is our online price. So $756, you know, and for a tourmaline slice, do you have some of these on your site?
No,
No? You did have. I thought you had a couple big ones like this.
I never posted them. No, I've got some.
Oh, okay.
I think we just put them in the loose stone inventory.
Yeah. So really nice slice, 25% off. Oh, I didn't figure that right, did I? These are 25 off. So that's down $667 divided by 25, which about $26 a carat. You know, but that's about as good a slice as you see. You know, just usually there's major cracks in them and voids on the outer sides of the crystal, and just a nice specimen. And a great piece of jewelry when it's done.
Did you get that one on there, Jeffrey?
On there.
It's all on there?
Yeah, if you go to the MoreGems.com. Click on the top. Click to see all our live gemstones. Or if you're already there and you were there before, just hit refresh, and that one will show right at the top. And then just use coupon code RARE25 in the checkout, and that'll take 25% off that price.
Got a sale, huh?
Is that
This is gone.
that one's gone?
Yep, that was
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, I figured
Michael.
I figured that one would
Yeah,
go.
Michael picked that. Not Michael,
Michael?
here. You didn't buy it, did you, Mike? I know you like those specimens. Nope.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Mike. Cool piece. Yeah, that one I hadn't
just
really planned on putting it on here. I really was going to make it up and sell it, but
Yeah.
I was just looking for something that was different we didn't have. We had a lot of tourmaline, so throw it out there, and it sold. Good. Yeah.
Cool.
So if they wanted to set inside, you probably talked about this, but it was like a pendant, or how would they, if you wanted to set it in anything?
Yeah, I don't know. We'd probably have a picture of what we've done.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're interested, Michael, in doing something with it, we've done a smaller piece like this, and we can send you a picture of what we've done in the past. So.
Cool.
All right. What's our next stone? And the next one's an opal. And this is really a remarkable opal. I mean, this one looks like Australian, although it's Ethiopian. Weighs 14.80 carats. Really a top crystal material that just shows just fantastic color everywhere. And, this is a piece that the picture and the video are good, but when you see it in person, it's better. I mean, the colors are just so vivid, and you get these in sunlight, and they are just unbelievable. Sunlight is by far the best light to see these opals in, and this just has so much color just throughout the stone, and such big flashes of color. It's really the ideal opal in my opinion. So this one appraises $3,330. $2,070 is our online price. And with coupon code STORM, it's $1,656. I think about 120 a carat. Just a nice big stone, make a great ring, great pendant. And that's the thing we found about these opals, these bigger opals. You put them in a pendant and you get so many compliments on it. People cannot keep from remarking on how beautiful these stones are. Oh, something sold.
Yes. Two things.
Oh, cool.
So Dave purchased, and I know, two people are going to be upset about this because I know two people contacted me thinking about purchasing it tomorrow. But it's the Portuguese Tanzanite 7.33 carat.
That was a nice stone.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
That was a good one.
I think one of the people that contacted me just went to bed, so I'm sorry. I warned her that sometimes they sell later. And then he also purchased the hard to polish amethyst gemstone, 37 carats. So
That's great, Rob.
yeah,
Yeah.
two great stones.
Yeah,
Jeez.
for sure.
Same person?
Yep, David
Oh.
bought them both.
All right, Dave.
Nice picks, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, the amethysts, they never last. I'm really going to work on finding an easier way to polish them because I just don't like doing it. So we'll give that dark side lap and the cerium a try this week, and hopefully it's the right thing. I know Gearloose told me that's what they recommended, and yeah, hey, I'll give it another try, and hopefully it's the right thing because we sure have plenty of amethyst to cut, and it's really a great seller. So something I have to work on, or just sit down and tough it out and just cut amethyst, which I could cut amethyst all week and probably make a living at cutting amethyst, but
What fun is that?
yeah, what fun is that? Yeah, I'd get Michael to start cutting and let him cut all the amethyst.
I told you.
Except you have your own and you'll be cutting for yourself, so.
Shit. That was an investment package for me.
Yes. Yeah, it was an investment for both of us. Yeah, and a wise one for sure. Yeah, you'll love the amethyst and and of course the tanzanite's a killer. And I do have another stone in a round that I may recut. I bought 2 stones about the same size. I was thinking recutting. The seller, friend Steve, he said this one doesn't need recutting, but it's another big round that would cut to another Portuguese, probably similar quality to that one. So if there is people interested out there, I do have another one to cut, and of course I have quite a bit of rough that I can cut into Portuguese, and I'm sure some stones that'll be close to that quality, although that one is extraordinary. So it'll be not an easy thing to cut another stone of that quality, but I'm sure I have them. So, yeah. All right, next one. Hoo-hoo, my little nightmare stone. This is the one I talked about that just was a pain. This stone should have been a 10 carat. But it would have been a 10 carat that had some significant inclusions. I didn't think they would show up, but they would have been there. One of them would have been out at the girdle, one that popped out, a huge chip popped out of it. And my wife was sitting upstairs, and I come up there, and she says, "What were you cussing about down there?" That was this stone, And then after that chip, there was another chip. So it just was a bit of a
the effin variant.
yeah, the effin variant. Yeah, but ultimately it came out to be a better stone because cut out some pretty significant inclusions. They would have shown up, particularly in the videos. They'd have shown up. I didn't think they would show up dramatically, but in the videos for sure they would have. But again, this is a really beautiful color. Yep. Get my lights on again. It's that color of Malaya garnet comes this color. And again, my favorite color. And this is a color that I'm looking for in tourmalines, and I'll buy everything I can buy in this color. I know it's saleable. I know it's a color that has a lot of interest in the business. I love it, love to cut it, and just produces a very pretty and bright stone in tourmalines. Yeah. This one weighs 6.4 carats, appraised price of $4,520. And with the coupon code STORM, it's $1,920. Just a good shape to set in a ring, particularly. Will make a great pendant too. You can set it on a diagonal or straight on, either way. Just a very lively stone, pretty color. No excessive depth, so it works well in a ring. Pretty piece. I probably have, another 7 or 8 pieces of rough like it. I've got a friend that's been waiting for some rough to come in, so hopefully I'll get more because this is a color that I'll buy everything I can. This through that little bit of pinker color like we've seen earlier are just 2 colors that just sell real well. I'll show that. Not the, well, actually color stands up okay on my finger. Good size stone. You know, you get a full apparent size for its weight just because there's no extra depth. My original cut had a lot more depth to it, but ended up shallower. You know, but still cut ideal angles. And this is a Berrien style in a square. It's not, this one is not a Berrien style. Actually, this is just a straight brilliant, which actually works extremely well in a square. You know, you don't have to do anything special. You just cut a straight brilliant style on the back. It's all main facets, but no complaints about the brilliance. Listed as a Berrien, but there's some variations that make this not a Berrien. You know, it's very close to what a Berrien is, but it's missing a few facets that are typify what a Berrien is. So what's next there, Mike? So here's a Christopher, a mineral Mike piece. Just a tourmaline that has just beautiful crystal shape. You know, just look at the crystal tip of this. Not sure what those extra crystal faces, those little thin faces on there. There must be a name for those.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if they're just the
Like, look how wide that
three,
crystal is. Like, could that have been
I don't know.
put on white?
Uh-huh.
Kind of blows it out.
Yeah, a little too much light. That's a little better.
Yeah.
There's probably a cutter in here, but you'd have to split it up into a few pieces. Because usually those striations are surface only. Sometimes they go deeper, but you know, there is a clear core in this stone. Remarkably even color. You know, usually tourmalines will have a much different color down the C-axis, which is this axis, than they do on the AB axis. But this one's remarkably similar. You can see how clean this side of the piece is. Just a really beautiful, beautiful crystal. If it was a little thicker, I'd be buying it and cutting it, but yeah. Because it's a lot like this. You see the surface striations on this one also. Just really typical of tourmaline. When you cut them, you got to kind of go at those pretty aggressively, a coarser lap, because sometimes they can continue to run while you're cutting them, and they'll just cut deeper into the stone. I haven't found that problem with this material from Democratic Republic of Congo, but a lot of maybe the Nigerian stones and those can tend to just keep cracking open while you're cutting them.
Question, just dealing with crystals, and again, everybody that's watching, I know we got new people constantly popping on. If you do have any questions, you can post them in the chat. If you log into your Gmail or your YouTube account, there's a chat there. Otherwise, you can go to MoreGems.com and there's a little chat function there. Any questions that you have for us during the show, Steve answers a lot of questions, so we'd be happy to. But one question is, have you ever seen the crystal phospholite? Phosphophyllite? No.
Doesn't ring a bell to me.
Oh, I've heard of a few phospho, but
P-H or
I
P-H-O-S?
couldn't tell you
Yeah.
what it is.
Phosphophyllite? Yeah. Guess not. Okay.
I think I've heard of it. That's about it, though. You know.
Yeah.
What's there is some phos. You can't think of any either. No. Tell us about it.
Looks like it's green. I looked it up.
It's green.
Yeah.
Yeah, not familiar with it. There's so many crystals out there. There's so many names that I can't believe there's 100 names this year that I never heard of. So many crystals. I don't know how many types of crystals are out there. It's thousands. I know hundreds. But, if you can't cut it, I generally don't know it. But Michael's more into that. And, but still, there's really a remarkable amount of different crystals out there that are available from the world. Yeah. Did you find anything on it, Mike?
The anime characters.
Anime characters?
But yeah, no, it looks like there's some crystals. But yeah, no, I don't really know anything about it. I haven't seen it or haven't been offered it. So.
Yeah. Nope, can't help you. Oh, so this crystal ends up about $53 a carat, and just a beautiful pink tourmaline. This is from DRC, isn't it? Democratic Republic of Congo. It's one of those colors that, like I say, if it was a little thicker, it'd just produce a beautiful pink stone. But man, that's really a nice crystal, that big face. Yeah, just really a beautiful, huge face on that one side of the stone. I can't say I've seen a face so flat and smooth, almost like it was faceted.
And to revert back, I guess Chris Clemens is on.
Oh, hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
He said the hardness of phosphophyllite is only 3.5.
3.5.
Make it pretty soft, huh?
Yeah, not a whole lot harder than your thumbnail.
Oh.
2.5 or is it 2? 2.5 is our thumbnail. What is it? Is that right, Chris? Chris is our local gem expert. That he's a good source for a lot of information. And the president of the Midwest chapter of the Fluorescent Mineral Society. And Chris has produced a lot of great pictures that's getting on MINDAT, which is the really the source for mineral information for everybody in the trade. So you've done a great job, Chris, and keep doing those fluorescent mineral photographs. I could probably learn a lot from you on photography. We need to talk photography more.
Send some phosphophyllite.
Yeah. So 3.5 hardness is not something I would ever cut, although I've cut fluorite, which is not much harder. But makes it a collector stone, collector's mineral only. And up next is just a really beautiful round Sri Lankan sapphire. This is a 2.29 carat, comes from Sri Lanka. Appraised value of $9,000. $5,500 is our price online. So with the coupon code STORM, it's $4,675. Just a really beautiful cut, extremely brilliant stone. just a beautiful color. You know, we're working at getting back heavily into the sapphire business. I kind of dropped it when I got heavily into tanzanite. But, you know, we're working at getting more involved with Sri Lanka, and we went to Montana to mine Montana sapphire, and just trying to get much more involved in sapphire. Sapphire is the number one seller in the business of all gems. So I take that as a hint that I should be stocking more. And we have a really good Sri Lankan source, and they produce this beautiful gem, and a couple on the last show, a yellow and a fuchsia pink sapphire that were both on last month's show. And like we were talking about, we've got a couple of new pieces set with some of these Sri Lankan sapphires coming out in our preview, our, what are we calling it? Next Thursday night, our
jewelry will drop Thursday.
Jewelry drop Thursday. So we'll be showing some pieces made up with some of these sapphires that I've purchased recently. But this is a really great round, brilliant stone. Like I say, it's just remarkably brilliant. Good clean stone. It's a VS stone. Has some minor inclusions in it, but nothing you can see naked eye. You know, just the cutting is very nice on the stone, and that's what gives it its extraordinary brilliance. You know, but color is what's important, and this has just a beautiful color for a sapphire. Kind of looks a little like my tanzanite I just heated. Yeah, just a beautiful blue color. So look forward to seeing much more of these sapphires in the future. We're still talking about whether our next trip is Sri Lanka or Tanzania. Not sure which way to go. What do you think, Jeff?
It is up to you. I mean,
I know you've been wanting to go to Sri Lanka.
Have you been to Sri Lanka before?
I've never been.
I like going to countries where people haven't been.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
like a new experience for everybody. But
yeah,
wherever
yeah.
you got to go, you know.
And it's a lot of beach time because there's a lot of beach there.
Yes.
Yeah. Not that we have time for that when we're looking at gems, but
We could probably fly, you know, to Maldives as well, just for a couple days.
oh, that's a waste of time.
What?
When you got Sri Lanka, right? Why would you leave?
Just for a day.
You go to the Maldives when you go to Madagascar.
Okay.
It's closer, I think.
Yeah,
it's
Sri
gotta
Lanka.
be.
Sri Lanka is like an hour.
No,
Yes.
to the Maldives.
Yep.
The Maldives are off the coast of Madagascar.
No.
It's like an hour. Yeah, that's where they
Everybody's
put
gonna
all their
tell ya.
money. All the
Gonna
Sri
tell ya.
Lanka, all the Madagascar people, they go there and they put their money there or something.
Apps behind you, Jeffrey.
Yep. Here, I'll point it out right here. Okay. Sri Lanka, Maldives. Right there.
Where? And where's? Oh, really? Oh, that's the Maldives. I guess you're right.
I guess you could fly to.
It's the it's the Seychelles.
Yeah,
Yeah, Seychelles.
Okay.
Sorry, my mistake.
All right.
But no, we're not going to the Maldives when we're in Sri Lanka.
I know.
You'd have to get another COVID test and you get stuck in the Maldives. All right.
Okay. Back to gemstones or sapphire.
Sapphires. Beautiful sapphire. So,
Okay.
uh-oh. We got a sale.
See? It's got to go on the map and talk about the map. and-
What did you sell at that map?
Let's see. So, we want to thank Sue. She purchased that step cut Savarite 1.5 carat.
Oh, cool.
That's a
Thanks,
nice green.
Sue.
Yeah. Thanks. Beautiful stone.
Yes, and yep, there it is.
Cool.
So So yes, so with that stone, if Sue, if you're still on, you can either. Some people tonight have had us hold on to their stones because they're coming up with, they want to think about a design for it. So if that's something you want to do, you can just email us and we can hold on for it. Otherwise, we can ship it to you. So
Yeah, just call us tomorrow if you have any special requests, and talk to Alice, and she's pretty much into the designing end of it, and Chris can work up a design, or we have many options. We have some stock pieces and some catalog pieces we can do, or we can do custom design for you. Just give us a call. We can talk about it. Cool.
Definitely. So we had a few questions. Are we anything else with the sapphire?
That wasn't something. No. I'm sorry.
Any other things with the sapphire? Did we give the price on it?
I don't know. If not, I can do it again. My trusty calculator says $4,675 with coupon code STORM.
Okay.
So
on the same lines of sapphire, we had a question if you've ever cut any paparaja.
yes, yeah, I have. Both from some African pods, mostly. I've recut. You don't get pods. Pod is the rarest of all the sapphires. I did a recut on one recently, a couple years ago. That was a steal, man. It was almost a 5 carat. It was over 5 carat. I recut it to 4.5 carat. I don't know what it sold for, maybe 15,000. And as I look back, the beauty of that stone, it was actually a bargain at that. But now that I'm getting back into sapphire, I'm realizing just what the value of sapphires is. The sapphire prices are significantly more than most of these other colored stones we handle. And, until you're into the market regularly, and it's been probably 10 or 15 years since I've been heavy into it. It was back when I was traveling mostly to Thailand when I did much more sapphire. And I quit traveling to Thailand, I think, in 2008 was my last trip to Thailand. So I haven't really dealt with them for 15 years. So it's, and prices have jumped pretty dramatically on sapphires, as it's been in all gems, have been appreciating significantly over the years. But sapphire has done a pretty significant change. When I was going to Madagascar, sapphire, in the early 2000s, the price had changed dramatically because Madagascar was producing a large quantity out of Ilakaka in southern Madagascar, and it totally changed the world's pricing of sapphires just because of the huge quantity that was available. That disappeared by 2005. So the prices have escalated back up ever since, and it's taken me a while to realize where the price of sapphires are, and so now we're going to continue to expand more into sapphire with more travel to places that produce sapphire, which will include, of course, Sri Lanka and Madagascar. Would be a couple of the sources for much of the finest sapphire in the world. So,
we got a chat about. Let me find the stone again here. Let me find what the chat was. So, can we, Michael? Are you able to show that it's one of the hidden gems that were 25% off, with the blue violet square cushion tanzanite? They just wanted to take a closer look at that one again. So for everybody that may be still on, there are some hidden gems, and these are 25% off, including this one. So
one hidden gem has already sold.
One hidden gem has sold. So this one, and there's one left. And everybody else that's watching, again, you can, if you go to MoreGems.com, we have the huge selection, or if you go to the top of the page, click on the green bar, you'll find all of the stones that are still left from the show. I can tell you that whoever watches the show, gets first dibs on all of these. But we do release these to the public, I guess you could say, to our loyal subscribers and our followers on Facebook tomorrow. And we do usually see a lot of the stones end up selling a couple days later. But what's the discount good through? Is it
Through the next show.
through the next show? So, okay. So you do have some time that you can still purchase these with the Storm coupon code for 15% off, or for the top 4 stones on the page, those are the top 3, are the hidden gems, which are 25% off, including the one you're looking at. That was a mouthful. I feel like I talked a lot there. But again, also, you can pay credit card, you can use PayPal. We also do have financing for up to 12 months, or you can do layaway. So you can put a down payment down and we'll hold on to the stone for you. You just have to call us tomorrow or email us. But I don't have any more requests or questions tonight, so I think that's it.
Yep. And I don't have my notes.
Oh,
So
Jeffrey, why
You're
don't you close us out tonight?
Oh, man. How do we usually close out? Oh, one thing I want to say. If you do like the show tonight, I know there's still people watching. If you haven't subscribed, right below my picture, kind of far down there should be, I think it's a red subscribe button. If you subscribe and then I think a bell shows up, hit that bell, you'll be notified of our monthly show. So if you had fun tonight and like this, each month we do have new stones that Steve cuts and swears about. Some of them that you can join us next month and you'll be notified, so you won't be able to miss it. Not sure what else. Steve always does this. You have your notes.
Well, I usually have notes, so
Okay.
I can't remember all that.
Do you know your tagline?
Do I? Well, I want to thank everybody for watching, and keep on gemming.
Thanks, everybody.